companies are spending billions of dollars trying to keep you addicted. So in fact, my first TEDx talk was on this, which was, don't blame your genes, blame your habits. Everyone is fat in my family. And now we realize we're living our parents' lives, our friends' lives, our TV dramas' lives, and we wonder why we are not happy. That snooze button was designed by the devil to steal all our time, to steal our energy, to steal our sleep. I'm sure whoever invented the snooze button has a little place in hell that has been dedicated to them, and the devil is like, yeah, good job, you've done. Einstein said, definition of stupidity is doing something over and over again and expecting another result. So try something new. What losers do is they focus on the points they've lost. Winners don't acknowledge the points that they've lost. It goes out the window. I was working with Agassi and he was 8-year-old child at that time. He hit a shot. The assistant coach said, good shot. And Agassi put his racket down, came up to the coach and said, what do you mean by good shot? I don't understand good shot. What did I do well in that shot is what you have to tell me. What is good? And the biggest problem with our generation is that we've stopped this habit of trying new things. And this is also why, have you noticed, hobbies have disappeared? People don't have hobbies anymore.
How do we step away from being a quitter?
So how do we quit quitting? It should be easy if you're already a quitter.
Hello everyone, my name is Jagriti Choudhary and I'm so excited to welcome you to season 2 of Unmasked by Skinyoga. Today I have a very special guest. Ashdin Doctor is India's leading habit coach. With his practical and science-based approach, he has helped millions change their habits and live a more productive and fulfilling life. Hi Ashdin, thank you so much for coming on my podcast.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me, to begin with, what do you do and why do you do what you do?
Okay, lovely. So as a habit coach, over the years of working with people, I keep getting this question, right? Like, what does a habit coach do? My one-line answer is, I help get rid of your frustrations in life. So we all have some frustrations. We have lots of frustrations, right? Where do these frustrations come from? They come from a place where we want to make a change in our life. Something we want to change. Something is not suiting it. But every time we try and make that change, we keep failing. And we just don't know what to do about that. And that's what I realized. I said, most of our failures are because we just can't get out of a habit and start a new habit. So as a habit coach, my goal is to help you get rid of these frustrations by making these changes more permanent in your life.
Interesting. Is that even possible?
Absolutely.
Now, when you say and put it like that about the frustrations I might have, I can clearly, see few places or few areas which frustrate me more often, and we'll get to that.
It's like a simple thing. Like, how many times have we started a diet and have failed in the first 5 days, right? How many times have we wanted to do a change, with our food or nutrition or going to the gym, and then went kaput. So the idea is, how do you continue that?
Right. But tell me, how did you start this entire journey of becoming a habit coach?
So when I started, there was no thing like a habit coach. It didn't exist, right? Like back in the days, if you searched for habit coach, you didn't get anything. You got one book called The Coaching Habit, which is not habit coaching. It's about, coaching in sports, etc. So I realized that there is a big gap here. And people obviously had life coaches, they had fitness coaches. I realized that I needed to create a coaching environment where this word called motivation is the dushman, is the enemy. Because motivation is what gets people, fired up and excited about doing things, but it doesn't keep them consistent. So we needed to figure out something that was consistent that we could do. And that's when this idea of habit coaching came. I had been spending a lot of time researching habits. I spent a lot of time understanding how people imbibe them. I spent time with some of the world leaders in, the health, fitness, and they all agreed that habits was the main part. So I had to create an entire program around it. I created the golden rules of habit change after working with people, realizing what are the things that worked, what are the things that failed. And I think the best part of this whole journey has been the creation process of a category that never existed before.
So tell me, what are your golden rules for building a new habit?
When it comes to habit, let's first define a habit. Right? Because all of us have different definitions of habits. So a habit, very simply, is any conscious or subconscious thought or action that is repeated at a set frequency. So normally we think about habits as subconscious. Like, I don't know how I drove to the gym, but I drove to the gym. Correct? Subconscious. I don't know how I put on my shoelaces, but I put on my shoelaces. But not all habits are subconscious. Like, you can subconsciously drive to the gym, but when you're in the gym, you can't subconsciously do a workout. Correct? You're very conscious at that point of time.
Yes.
So many of our habits are also conscious habits.
Okay.
The second part is we often think about habits only as actions. I will eat with a teaspoon, so I eat less food. We have all these different kinds of things that we start off with. Brushing our teeth, some tricks. These are all actions.
Right.
What we don't realize is that our thoughts are also habits.
Okay.
You wake up in the morning and you tell yourself that today is going to be a fabulous day.
Yeah.
Right? You'll notice that today slowly becomes a fabulous day. Every day, if you have this thought, today is a fabulous day, today is a fabulous day, it's going to become fantastic.
Yes.
If you wake up and say, oh God, today is going to be such a bad day, today sucks, same thing, new day, what's going to happen?
Same thing.
The same thing. It's going to suck. And that is the point of habits as our thoughts. Oh, money never comes to me. Oh, I'm always poor. I'm not good enough.
Right.
These are all the subconscious thoughts that keep playing.
Right.
So almost 80% of the time when I'm working with people, it is not on the physical action habits, but it's more on these 80% of the mental habits.
Wow.
Because you can imagine the amount of clutter that goes on in our minds.
Right. Right.
Half the time people keep saying, I'm overthinking. We're having so many thoughts.
Yeah.
Can you identify these thoughts?
Yeah.
Can you slowly start switching these thoughts?
Right.
And that is where the magic happens.
So amazing. I mean, I never thought of habit as a thought. Now we've defined habits. Now tell us the golden rules.
So the golden rules of habit change are this. So the first one is called make it stupidly small. So make it so small that you feel stupid not doing it.
Okay.
Like it was so easy, so small, I couldn't do it even then. It should become like that. Okay. Normally what we do is when we want to make a habit, we try and make it very, very large. I will wake up at 5:30 in the morning. I'll wake up at 4 in the morning.
Yes.
Right now you wake up at 8. Now suddenly you're going to wake up at 4.
Okay.
That's how we actually try and create habits. And we fail because we make them too large.
Okay.
So the first step is to make it as small as possible. Just wake up half an hour early. Half an hour early everyone can do. So you start off with this process of making it very, very small. And what happens when you make it stupidly small, your chance of missing it goes away. The next golden rule of habit change is make it extremely easy. So one is stupidly small. Next is easy. The two are different. Small is the quantity of action. Easy is the friction. How many times you make an excuse for a habit?
All of that.
Correct?
Yeah.
Now, if you make an excuse, there is still friction in the process.
Okay.
So as soon as you realize you made an excuse, it is not extremely easy.
Okay.
So how do you make the system change for that habit so it becomes easier and easier and easier to do?
Okay.
I'll give you an example. Lots of people want to start journaling.
Right.
Correct? In the morning, I will sit down and I will journal. Fabulous. Now, where is that journal kept? Your journal is kept in a cupboard somewhere. That you have to go open the cupboard, bring out the journal, then you have to go find a pen from somewhere, then sit in one place and write. Too many steps, too many places where excuses could come. Arey, my husband was changing in the room, so I didn't go. Something or the other. What we have to do is make it extremely easy. Every morning, I sit in this one spot and I have my chai here. So let me keep the journal exactly where the place is for my chai. So while I'm having my chai, I pick up the journal and I do my journaling at the same time. What you've done is a little change has created this frictionless environment. So that is the second part. How do you remove friction and excuses from the process?
Okay.
The third golden rule is about consistency, which is never miss 2 days in a row.
Okay.
So, many people say, I will start a habit and I'll do 21 days of a habit. You've heard 21 days everywhere. Now, everyone says 21 days. We'll discuss that if you want.
I have that question.
You have that question. So, the idea is, how do you move from this 21 days to not thinking about it as in a row, but thinking about it more as a human point of view?
Okay.
We often approach habits very strictly.
Right.
Correct? If I fail at it, no point, I have to start again. What if you looked at habits differently and said, all I have to do is make sure I do the habit today and the next day. But if something happens, it's okay. No problem. Okay. I will miss that one day.
Okay.
But come what may, I will do it immediately after. So no missing 2 days in a row. Wednesday you did it. Tuesday you did it. Fabulous. Ashdin's happy. You are happy. Coach is happy. Wednesday you had to go for a wedding. Child fell sick. Something happened. You couldn't do it on Wednesday. No problem. What you do is you do it on Thursday.
Okay.
Right? And this way, what you've done is you've maintained the habit of doing it.
Okay.
Even though you missed that one day.
Okay. So even if you do it on Monday and Tuesday, but Wednesday you couldn't do it for whatever reason, do it on Thursday.
Correct.
But don't miss that Thursday.
Don't miss that Thursday. Do the smallest part of it.
Okay.
What happens is that your habits are like voting.
Okay.
You want more yes votes versus no votes.
Yeah.
If you miss 2 days in a row, missing it becomes the new habit.
Okay.
Excuses becomes the new habit.
Okay.
So you're either creating that habit that you want or you're moving away from that habit that you want. So you have to constantly move towards that habit.
Okay.
Everyone misses a day.
Yeah.
We are human beings, no problem. But coming back, that's the important part.
Okay.
So these are the 3 golden rules. Stupidly small, extremely easy, never miss 2 days in a row.
Okay, great. And according to you, what is the main difference between an intention and a goal?
Intention is a very strong why. That means your intention has to be something very, very deep within you. Knowing that this habit that I make a change in is going to change my life dramatically in some other way.
Okay.
The example that I normally give with intention is that of a client that I had that came to me and said, Ashdin, I want to learn yoga. Okay. And I said, okay, fabulous. Why do you want to learn yoga? So the technique we use for intention is the 3 why technique. We keep asking why till you get to a root.
Okay.
So I asked, why do you want to learn yoga? She said, I want to learn yoga because I want to become more flexible.
Okay.
Okay. No problem. So far I've heard yoga flexibility makes sense.
Okay.
Why do you want to become more flexible? I want to become flexible so that I can sit on the floor.
Okay.
So this is a very interesting question, right? Normally we would have stopped at flexible.
Yeah.
Why do you want to sit on the floor? I want to sit on the floor so that I can play with my child.
Okay.
My child sits on the floor and plays and I'm sitting on the sofa.
Yeah.
And I feel bad that I can't play with my child.
Okay.
So this way I can at least play with my child.
Mm.
And very interestingly, we've got a puppy at home now, little puppy. And the same conversation is happening with my mother because my mother can't go down and play with the puppy and bend. So now she is doing her exercises to go and play with the puppy on the floor.
Okay.
So it's interesting how this is such a unique intention that we can create for ourselves.
That want is so strong here to complete that.
So you know that you're not going to miss out on your yoga because it'll miss out on playing with your child.
Yeah. And what about goal?
A goal has to have a few things to make it achievable. So it has to have a clear time frame by when you want to achieve the goal. It has to have a clear measurable outcome.
Okay.
And you have to be clear on what it is that you want in the end.
Yeah.
These 3 things are what define goals. Now, very often people obviously mix up these 2. Your why has to be a deep reason. Your goal has to be the how you go about achieving it.
Okay.
And that is the difference between these 2.
Okay.
So how am I going to do this? That is your goal. I'm going to sit down on the floor if I do yoga 5 days in a week.
Okay.
5 days in a week, over the course of 2 months, I should be able to sit on the floor.
Okay.
Very simple goal.
Oh, understood. So intention is a why and goal is a how.
And the what is the habit that you actually implement in.
Okay. Very interesting. And how do habits get passed on from parents to kids?
Amazing. So in fact, my first TEDx talk was on this, which was don't blame your genes, blame your habits.
Interesting.
So very often I used to hear saying that, no, Ashdin, obesity runs in my family. Everyone is fat in my family. Or high blood sugar runs in my family. Everyone has high blood sugar.
Right.
And it took such a long time for me to combat that thought with people because they took it for granted. My parents had it, I will have it.
Right.
The truth is, it's not just your genes because there's now an entire world called epigenetics. Epigenetics is where you realize that environment factors dictate whether that gene is going to be turned on or turned off.
Okay.
If that gene is turned off, you don't have to worry about blood sugar. You don't have to worry about obesity. But the problem is that the lifestyle factors come in. You don't sleep on time. You have bright lights at night. You're constantly eating. It turns that gene on and hence the ability for us to get that illness increases dramatically.
Okay.
Right?
Interesting.
Now, this is fabulous and this is how a habit coach looks at it. Obviously, doctors look at it differently. I'm not a doctor. My surname is Doctor. So no medical advice here. But what you need to do is you need to stop looking only at the genes and say that I have picked up my parents' habits. My grandmother came from a very poor family. So for them, making sweets at home was a very big thing. So sugar became a very important part of our family life.
Okay.
So every time my mom did something, she would make something with sweet for her. If she refused to eat her food, she would put sugar on top of her rice and give it to her. That same thing was carried on to me. If I came home from school and I had a fight with somebody and I was sulking, she would make me a pudding.
Okay.
If I came home from school and I had done something good, she would make me a cake.
Okay.
So as a result, sugar became a very important part of my household.
Okay.
And it wasn't diabetes that was being passed on, but it was these habits around sugar that was being passed down. And this is how we all start working. Can you imagine when you were growing up in India, going to the gym didn't exist as something we did.
True.
In the evenings, you would sit, we would watch TV as a family, and that was it.
Right.
But imagine if somebody from Germany came and they would say, in the evenings, you'll just sit and watch TV. Y'all don't go for a walk, you don't go for a hike, you don't go for this.
Yeah.
There, that were the habits that the family passed on. Here, the TV was the habit that the family passed on.
Right.
So it's important to start taking note on what was given to you by your parents.
Right.
Not just your inheritance.
Right.
But the habits were also part of your inheritance.
Absolutely. So there are families, and we all know, like, a family where blood pressure runs. The grandfather had it, the father had it, now the guy has it, and probably he assumes that his kids will also have it. Or there is, as you said, diabetes. It runs in the family. But it's not the disease, but it's the lifestyle and the habits that the family has passed on from generation.
And these are the first habits that we pick up. So I keep telling people, you notice that most of the habits that you have came from your parents, then from your friends that you spend time with, and then from what you watched on TV. And now we realize we're living our parents' lives, our friends' lives, our TV dramas' lives, and we wonder why we are not happy.
Right.
Because we've not created habits for ourselves. Right. We've not consciously created the life that we want, consciously created the habits that we want.
Yes.
We've picked up little bits and pieces of everyone else's life.
Yes.
And that's what we're living.
That's true. But actually, it's so difficult to know where to start and where to say that, okay, now I need to take charge of my own habits. So could you help us with like building our morning routine? Like the 5 things that, anybody should do as a morning routine that creates their habit.
Lovely. So let me break it up into 2 parts. How do I deal with all these habits that I've already picked up? So the best thing to do is do a habit audit.
Okay.
Take any day of your life and take a journal and carry it with you. Every day, write down what are you doing every 10-15 minutes. Right now, I'm drinking tea. And suddenly you'll notice you drank tea 7 times, but you thought you were drinking tea only twice a day. Right? Then I'm going to watch reels. Fabulous. You suddenly realize you've been watching 2 hours of reels and you thought you were doing 20 minutes. So that habit audit helps you understand where your habits are currently. And then you look at it and say, this is the life that I'm living. This is what I want to do. Let me move it to something else. And then you actually sit down and design what your day would ideally look like. Now you've hit on a very important part, which is the morning. I say your morning defines the rest of your day. Whatever happens in the morning happens for the rest of your day. The first habit that you do in the morning is slow down. Most of our mornings are rushed.
Very rushed.
Right? You jump, you're running after your children, you're running after somebody else. Ye karo, wo karo, ye karo, wo karo. And as a result, the rest of your day is also rushed. Because remember, the morning defines the rest of the day. So what you do is you consciously slow down. Maybe you need to wake up half an hour earlier from whatever you're doing. Use those 30 minutes to approach the day with intention. Sit down. Today, this is the kind of day that I'm going to have. This is what I'm going to be doing today. This is how I'm going to be feeling today. You be in charge of your day. Because when you're in a rush, you are only being reactive. You're being reactive to the day, you're being reactive to people. You're not in charge.
Right.
But you need to be in charge of how you want to feel, what you want to do. So wake up early, half an hour, sit down and write down what are the things that you want to do. Have a 4-minute exercise routine. So just maybe do some jumping jacks, maybe do some high knees, maybe do some stretches, just to get the blood flow going and to teach yourself that you're an active person. If you woke up, came to the sofa, sat down and started looking at reels, you're not an active person.
Right.
Correct? But you woke up, you said, okay, I'm going to do 4 minutes of workout. You're teaching yourself that you're an active person. That little shift, again, makes a very big difference. So we've got wake up early, we've got decide what you want for your day, we've got activity. Then what you do is don't immediately eat something.
Okay.
If you notice, most people follow a simple routine. They'll wake up, they'll go to the washroom, they'll come out and immediately enter the kitchen.
Correct.
Right? Kitchen mein they will have their soaked almonds and then they'll have something else. You don't need to eat immediately. Our human body was not designed to immediately consume food after waking up.
Okay.
You need a little gap.
Okay.
Just as it was not designed to immediately have caffeine. You need a little break. So drink water. It's not been drinking water for the last 8 hours, right? So it's dehydrated. Drink water and slowly enter the rest of your day.
Okay. Okay.
And finally, have a few moments of free time by yourself.
Okay.
Instead of rushing into family.
Okay.
I think that makes a big difference.
Right. What do we do in the free time?
Even if it's just staring out of the window.
Okay. Just give in.
Just your time.
Interesting.
You can do whatever. You want to do the crossword? Fabulous. Do the crossword. Whatever you enjoy.
Wow. This sounds so liberating already. But I think the problem is the choice that we make between waking up half an hour early versus sleeping for an extra half an hour. But that half an hour will change the entire
It'll
day.
Completely change it. Like none of these habits are long habits. 4 minutes plus another 2 minutes of writing, 5 minutes. None of this is
right.
dramatic.
And if I understand it right, if I'm already waking up at 7:30 and I want to wake up at 7, I start that change gradually by waking up at 7:20 and then 7:15 and 7:10. And by 4th or 5th day, I will be able to wake up.
Half an hour jumps are easy.
Easy.
So you can do 7 to 7:30. That's not a problem. You don't need to do 7:20, etc.
Yeah.
But don't do 1 hour jumps.
Okay. Okay.
And the most important thing is never, ever, ever, ever snooze. That snooze button was designed by the devil to steal all our time, to steal our energy, to steal our sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure whoever invented the snooze button has a little place in hell that has been dedicated to them. And the devil is like, yeah, good job you've done. So we have to realize that is evil.
Okay.
Never snooze.
Okay.
How do you overcome snooze? You put your phone away from your bed.
Okay.
So charge your phone at the other end of your bedroom.
Yeah. Okay.
People then say, but what do I do? My husband will wake up, my wife will wake up, my dog will wake up.
Yeah. Good. They'll also benefit.
Not just that.
Yeah.
Good. You have to jump up and switch it off fast. You can't lay in bed, right? So you start creating this and don't create excuses for yourself as you do it.
Right. No, it's difficult, but I'm sure it's very effective. And today we all want to be the best versions of ourselves. Sometimes we just don't know how to. This morning routine could really help people and understand that it's just as simple.
Correct.
Doing that. What about night? What are some night routines so that we sleep better? Sleep is such a global problem, if I may say, that people don't know how to sleep better. And what is it that they can do to assist them?
Lovely. So just as I say, the morning dictates how the rest of the day is going to go. Your morning is dictated by how your last night was. So what I say is that your morning starts the night before.
Okay.
So if you want to have a good morning and wake up without hitting snooze, you have to have a good night.
Okay.
How do you create a good night? You create a good night by realizing that as adults, we are still little babies.
Okay.
How do you put a baby to sleep? You don't make it watch an action movie, hype it up, jump it or make it jump around, and then say, now go to sleep. That's what we do to ourselves.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. We go on stimulating ourselves and then we are like, now I have to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is just like how you set up that morning alarm half an hour earlier, you set up a sleep alarm half an hour before you want to go to bed. So you want to go to bed at 11 o'clock, sleep alarm starts at 10:30.
Okay.
And for that half an hour, you dim the lights. You change into your pajamas. So don't stay in the house in your pajamas. Change into your pajamas just before bed.
Okay.
It's a sign to your body that now it is time to go to sleep.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
You start putting your phone aside. Put it for charging away from your bed. Go to the washroom. Either have a bath or brush your teeth. Do your skincare routine that you would have planned. And do it consciously.
Okay.
Not just while I'm thinking about work, I'm doing cut.
Like
No.
intentionally.
Intentionally looking at yourself, saying that I'm healing or I'm helping myself, I'm glowing, whatever it is that you want to say to yourself at that moment. Because with that conscious activity, I think the benefit is far, far bigger.
For sure. Yeah.
Then when you're ready for sleep, is when you move to your bed. And slowly drift off. How do you drift off? Either some people are blessed, they hit the pillow and poof, they're out. For others, you do what is known as a sleep primer.
Okay.
This is another one of the Habit Coach podcasts that we had done. The sleep primer is when you put your head on the pillow and you start visualizing yourself as a little bear maybe. And it's going to hibernate.
Okay.
And it's got little cubs with it. And it's such a snuggly little time. And you put your head, you're feeling completely safe. And you're in your head visualizing the bear going to sleep. And as a result, you drift off into this beautiful sleep.
Okay.
Normally our last thoughts are what? Ye karna hai kal.
Yes.
My to-do list.
Yes.
Why did that person say this thing to me?
Yeah.
It's all feelings of unsafety. How can you go to sleep when you're feeling unsafe?
True.
Right? You will think someone's going to attack you when you're sleeping.
Yes.
So instead, you consciously create this environment of feeling safe, feeling blessed.
Okay.
Thank God I have this beautiful bed.
Yeah.
I have a fan.
Yeah.
I have these. And then you slowly go off to sleep.
Okay. Interesting. Wow. It just already feels so calming, and relaxing at the same time. Just last night, I was like, oh my God, I have this. Tomorrow, I have this. I have this. Have I done this? So it's all like already very stimulating.
Correct.
And like it builds anxiety. And that's not the best.
And then you're in bed. And what do we do last minute? We have a fight with our partners.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
Because remember, you have to do this. Don't forget. Yesterday, you forgot this again. That's the only time people catch up with each other.
I know. And that's
such a tragedy.
Yeah, that's
because it's the time to be warm, loving together instead of that.
Now, you spoke about me time in the morning. Like, how can a person find that me time during the day?
What you have to do is you have to consciously put it in your calendar.
Okay.
So the first thing is that if you don't use a calendar, you are leaving half your productivity on the table. So everyone, whether you're working, not working, all of us have Google calendars, right? We all have a Google account, Gmail account. On your calendar, plan your day.
Okay.
When are you going to do your reading? When are you going to do your studies or your work, etc.? And in that time, put 15 minutes of do nothing time.
Okay.
So this could be making your chai and looking out of the window at the birds.
Okay.
This could be just looking at the wall. It could be closing your eyes and going to sleep. Okay. Anything that you want to do for those 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
Once it's in the calendar, automatically you will end up doing it.
Okay. Interesting. So the Google Calendar, use that.
In fact, many years ago when COVID was happening, the Google team came to me and asked me to do workshops for them for South Pacific, Europe, because people were going through burnout.
Yes.
Correct? And they couldn't figure out why were people burning out when they were working from home.
Right.
Well, home, you should be more comfortable.
Yeah, correct.
This is what that happened. Their days were so chock-a-blocked with their Google Meet meetings and everything that there was no me time and there was no break time.
Okay.
And I had to teach them that you have this beautiful thing called a Google Calendar. Now use it with this break inside. And we saw a change in the burnout that was taking place.
Oh, amazing. So, tell us like when you also spoke about getting frustrated, right? Like how do we identify that we are moving towards that habitual frustration?
The frustration part. So, there are lots of people who complain about everything.
Yes.
Correct. Constantly complaining.
Yes,
These
that's another
negative
habit.
people, right? We don't want to talk about that. Frustration is when you are trying and failing. As soon as you realize you've tried and failed, and you've not done anything new, it means you're setting up yourself for failure again.
Okay.
Right? Einstein said, right, the definition of stupidity is doing something over and over again and expecting another result.
Yeah.
So try something new.
Okay.
How do you try something new? Making it a habit. Changing it. Maybe you couldn't approach it from this side, you'll approach it from this way. Most of people want to lose weight, they join the gym. 3 times they've joined the gym, never been to the gym, and they still continue going to the gym. Meaning, start paying for that gym membership. Instead, try something new.
Yeah.
Maybe a weight room is not for you. Maybe a Zumba is for you. Maybe aerial acrobatics is for you. You don't know what it is till you try multiple things.
Correct.
And the biggest problem with our generation is that we've stopped this habit of trying new things. We're so set in our ways, our comfort zone. And this is also why, have you noticed, hobbies have disappeared? People don't have hobbies anymore. So how do we create hobbies? How do we try new things? I think that's something that helps with our frustration.
So I've recently started playing paddle. And the only frustration I have currently in my life is I don't win a lot of times. Okay, and I'm really frustrated. I'm like,
highly competitive?
Very competitive. So I'm like, I have to win this, but during the game, I realize I'm not as good, but I want to win it.
Correct.
I can do anything in this world to win. And it's very frustrating.
Yes.
So I'm like, is winning also a habit?
Absolutely. So winners are people who habitually have understood how to win.
Okay.
Now, for your paddle,
Yeah.
you can win a game or you can win certain things within a game. What do I mean by this? Say you pick a goal for yourself saying, I will get 95% of my serves correct.
Okay.
And if you got 95% of your serves correct, that is a win for you.
Okay.
So you break your game up into smaller parts and you start winning at those small parts.
Okay.
I will get 3 aces in this game. If I got 3 aces in this game, I consider it a win.
If I don't?
Then I know that I need to improve.
Okay.
Am I losing out on my serves? Am I getting more mistakes in my serves? Right? Can I figure out where I need to position the ball for it? Okay. Also in paddle, an ace is not actually what you want.
Correct.
You want the serve to come back slowly so that you can come. So it's not a good parameter. But you find out what is it that you want to win within the game. And eventually you'll realize you start winning the overall game because you worked on all the weaker points to get there.
Interesting.
We think end goal.
Right.
And that frustration of end goal.
Right.
You have to have your micro wins.
Right. Because a lot of times, even when, my team is 4-1, and we're winning, it just comes to 6-4 in their favor. And that's what's frustrating.
Correct.
Because it then becomes a habit to lose.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some science behind it. And probably what he's saying is like win smaller goals and eventually it'll become a habit to win the overall game.
What losers do is they focus on the points they've lost. Winners don't acknowledge the points that they've lost.
Okay.
It goes out the window.
Oh, okay.
So I had the opportunity of interviewing the tennis coach for Andre Agassi and many of the tennis champions. It was one of the most fabulous interviews for me. So much I learned from it. And he said that whenever I spoke to the tennis player and I said, this serve, you got that wrong. He said, what serve? It had been wiped out of his memory. He only remembered what he did well so that he could replicate it. Because if he remembered the mistakes would be what would be replicated.
Okay.
So you learn very quickly from the mistake and then forget the mistake, only keep the learning.
Okay. Very interesting.
I was working with Agassi and he was, I think, an 8-year-old child at that time. 8, okay? Or maybe younger. And he hit a shot and the assistant coach said, good shot.
Okay.
And Agassi put his racket down, came up to the coach and said, what do you mean by good shot?
Okay.
I don't understand good shot.
Okay.
What did I do well in that shot is what you have to tell me. What is good?
Oh.
How many times do we say good, bad, bad?
All the time.
Correct?
Yeah.
But you need to figure out what was correct and what was not. Okay. Only then can you improve.
Okay.
So the mindset of a winner, of a champion is very different because they're constantly looking for what is that little thing that I can make a difference in.
Okay.
They're not happy with good and bad.
Okay, not the outcome, but the process or the technique that
See, good and bad is qualitative.
Right.
But what I actually did correct is what I can replicate in the future.
Okay, interesting. Wow, any other tips?
So that was one fabulous one. The second one he said was that the champions, I knew they would be champions because they never had their mothers pack their bags for them. They were always there 10 minutes early.
Okay.
And the first thing that they did was 4-year-old tennis player, I think Navrati Lova, I think it was, he was talking about. I could be wrong. At 4 years old, came and said, Coach, what is the plan for today? How many kids say, what is the plan for today?
Yeah.
So they were thinking at a very different level from everyone else.
Oh, so cool. Wow, this is such a great learning today, Ashdin. And I'm sure a lot of people, as you said, people don't have habits. Now with the culture of sports and what I see, people are building habits. It's more about social, building a community, and picking something up. It could be painting, pottery, and that's something very refreshing to see.
And I want people to do this because right now, community loneliness is going to be one of the biggest issues. People are feeling lonely, being stuck at home with their phones instead of going out and meeting people. Meeting people is very important.
Very important. So the same thing also applies to students, right? In classroom, we always find that one child who is good at everything, winning debates, being first in class, touching anything and then just winning it very so effortlessly. What's the science behind that, and how can parents make their kids that one child?
Lovely. So I am often invited to schools to give talks.
Okay.
So I have a book for children. So it's called the Book of Small Habits for Kids.
Oh, okay.
Often, and inevitably somebody will raise their hand and say, "Sir, how do I become better at my studies?" And I keep telling them, look, I failed all through school. Okay, so I failed at least 3 subjects every term. I don't know how I tortured my parents through this. But now, with this realization that I've had, I realized that the habits that I had for studies were completely wrong. When I noticed my schoolmates when I was in college, it was different. They approached studying in a fun manner. They approach studying in a competitive manner. They approach studying differently. I approach studying as something that I was forced to do and I had to do.
Right.
They were excited. You come over and we will do our notes together.
Right.
I was like, no, I don't want to come over and do notes.
Yeah.
For them, it was fun. For me, it was not.
Right.
Correct? So I realized that their approach to studying was dramatically different. And as parents, what we can do is we can change our approach. How do we make studying fun?
Right.
More building curiosity in the child.
Absolutely.
Maybe saying you and I will study together. That means you are studying and I am doing my work. Together we are in this. You're not doing this alone.
Absolutely.
These are the things that I noticed amongst children who are doing well in class. Children who were doing poorly were forced to study. You go sit in the corner and do this.
Right.
Don't come back till you finish this.
Right.
Correct? How is that fun for the child? So you suddenly realize that as a parent, we have to inculcate masti, enjoyment, not seriousness about it, but more maybe the competitiveness about it.
Right. So when growing up, my father always said, I was the studious one and I always wanted to come first and my sisters didn't care.
Where did you learn the coming first victory habit? Which parent had it?
No, nobody.
Was...
I wanted to come first. I don't know where it came from, but my parents always said, go to school, but just enjoy the class. It doesn't matter whether you come first or last. Before my board exams, they would pick me up from while I was studying and, learning everything. And like, no, let's go for ice cream. I'm like, what kind of parents are they? They don't want me to study before my boards. So I'm like, don't worry, just enjoy the subject. So I think that kind of really helped me have a different approach to learning that,
Correct.
okay, I just need to understand this chapter instead of like just making sure that I, write it well. And I feel like today, a lot of schools, including, my daughter's school, they have made learning so joyful. Their entire learning concept is about joyful learning.
Correct.
And today, my daughter, she looks forward to going to school and learning. Learning for her is not like, oh, I don't know this and I want to do this. She appreciates her peers who are better in some things than she is. But she's just so happy with what she can do well. So I think a lot of schools are also adapting this technique
Correct.
or this approach of learning, which is, I think, such a great
Like
thing.
We were talking about my NGO, the Light of Life Trust, before this. We were discussing, and we have 10,000 children studying, right, in the system. How do we make studying interesting for children in rural India where nobody in the family has ever studied before?
Right.
Correct?
Wow.
So you first have to tell them why studying is so important for them. And you have to break it down into a fun way in which they can learn.
Okay.
We study with children who are 8th standard onwards. And many times in the 8th standard, they don't know the alphabets.
Okay.
So you have to start from scratch, teaching them the alphabets, teaching them confidence, how to go up and speak in front of a class.
Wow.
So we build on all those other aspects of studies, of education, and not just the final, the studying that they have to do and the marks.
Yeah.
That's an outcome.
Yeah.
But when the confidence increases, when the joy increases in how they're studying, it makes a big difference.
Great. Could you tell, our viewers about the NGO that you run? What is it called and what do you do?
It's called the Light of Life Trust. And we work with breaking the generational cycle of poverty in India. So one program is called Anando, which helps children through 8th, 9th, 10th. Anando Plus helps them through 11th, 12th. and then eventually getting themselves a job. So I was sharing some fantastic statistics with you and saying how as soon as they get a job, their earning capacity is many times what their family ever earned. The family would probably be earning 3,000 rupees a month. These children immediately, as soon as they pass out from the 12th standard, earn 18,000, 20,000, and dramatically change the family's future.
Wow.
Then we have a vocational training center which trains women into sewing, tailoring, beauty, the normal things. But the impact that has again is dramatic.
Yeah.
We work with maybe 2,000, 3,000 women, and that output turns into crores for the economy.
Wow.
When they start working, they start creating, the clothes, etc. It's an amazing impact that is created for our own Indian economy and for these women going ahead.
I can only imagine if this multiplies, like if we invest 1 crore and the output is 5 crore.
Correct.
Our country won't be poor anymore. And I'm so grateful that you're doing this.
Thank you.
With your NGO. And to our viewers, we'll post a link below. If you would like, you can also donate to the NGO where we can help our country, get out of poverty.
Thank you. That would be fabulous. Thank you.
Coming back to habits. Now, giving, what according to you is giving? How important is it? And how does it help an individual?
It's very interesting that every single ancient culture had giving as an important mandatory part of living. Right? You have tithings, which is give 10% of your income. What you don't realize is as soon as you give a certain amount away, space is being created for new income to come in. And I don't know how this works. There is some magic in this.
I agree with you.
Every time I've donated money, more money has come to me. I have no clue how this works. I've done this with my clients as well. There is some magic there.
There is.
And you can look at giving as a selfish act. We often think about giving as selfless. But giving is actually selfish because you give because you know you're going to feel better.
Right.
You give because you know you're going to get something back. And that's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Because when you give, you're actually creating a better community around you.
Okay.
So I look at it in that way, saying that giving can be selfless, but it's actually a selfish act, which is perfectly fine.
Okay, but at least give. Right? How do we develop the habit of giving in kids? Could you share some, points?
I think one of the important things to do with kids is to create a piggy bank for them.
Okay.
Have them touch money, feel money, earn money.
Okay.
So they get a monthly amount that goes into the piggy bank, which teaches them saving.
Okay.
They get a amount for extra activities that they do, which teaches them earning.
Okay.
And you can add giving and investing as a part of this.
Right.
So you can teach them saying that I'm taking this 1,000 rupees that you've saved and I'm making a fixed deposit. 1 year from now, you will get this much from not touching this money. Do you want to try it?
Yeah.
You can turn it also into a more playful game saying, if you give me this money now, 1,000 rupees I've given you, you give me this money back, next month you'll get 1,000 plus 100 more. So you are internally being the bank for them and teaching them investing instead of just saving. Right? And then you can teach them giving, which is showing them when you go and buy food and give it to somebody on the road, the happiness that that person feels. And you teach them the happiness and joy that comes from actually using this money for somebody else's benefit instead of just buying chocolates or a bike for yourself.
Right. Doing it with them, in front of them.
It could even be something simple like the toys they're not using, going out and giving them and donating them.
Yeah, I think a lot of us do that now, but it's still not primary.
Correct.
It's secondary. We give it to an NGO and they give it up front. But I think when you do it, see it and feel it and, give it directly, it creates another impact. Okay, why is finishing a task so important for our brain?
More than finishing the task, it is the action of finishing a task. So write it down and then scratch it off.
Okay.
Or write it down and then tick mark that task.
Yes.
That tick marking, that scratching reinforces the completion process in your brain.
Interesting.
So it's not just the completion of a task. So on my desk at home and in office, next to my laptop, I have a little bell. The ting, like what you have in the hotels. So it has a little smiley face and a ting. Every time I finish a task, sent an email, ting, finished writing a podcast, ting, did something I had to do, ting. So that ting makes me want to do more things, right? So it reinforces the whole loop of wanting to do more. And that's how you actually build this change.
Oh, interesting. So what I do is I scratch it.
Correct.
In the morning, I write to-dos. And as and when I finish it, I scratch it. And that, or tick it, whatever. And that feels so good of, that, I accomplished something.
Yes.
Even if I had to place an order for something, that it just...
And you make a ceremony out of it. Like,
I'm not that, but I should probably.
So that emotion connect comes with that.
Yeah. And how do we stop being a quitter? You write, okay, I'm going to do this, this, this. And then you're like, okay, you know what? Forget it. I don't think I'm going to do it. How do we, step away from being a quitter?
So how do we quit quitting?
Yeah.
It should be easy if you're already a quitter. No, but the point is that you don't quit quitting.
Okay.
You start completing. So the mindset has to change. It's the words, right? Remember thought habits.
Thoughts, yeah.
I am not a quitter. I'm not a procrastinator. I am someone who completes what they start.
Okay.
The problem is that what you've chosen to start is too large. It's too big.
Right.
So you have to realize how to break it up into baby steps.
Okay.
I give the example of many people want to write a book. How many people want to write a book? Everyone is like, I will write a book.
Yeah.
I will write a book.
Right.
I will write a book.
Right.
I published 3 books in 2 years. How did I do that when people say? It's very simple. I never saw it as publishing a book. I saw it as finishing 500 words a day.
Okay.
Every day, if I finished 500 words, 500 words, 500 words, 500 words, eventually the book would have written itself. So I just focused on a doable task, which was 500 words.
Okay.
And as soon as I got that, the book automatically happened.
Okay.
So quitters often take on too much. And then it becomes an identity. And then they don't believe that they can do it.
Okay.
So instead, break it up into something small, prove to yourself that you're not a quitter, and then actually change.
So how long does this take? You've explained the same concept of in the morning routine also, waking up early also, like having smaller jumps, like, half an hour, 15 minutes. Like how long does it take for somebody to for the mind to register that, okay, I'm not a quitter, or okay, I can wake up at, this hour?
The way to think about it is this way. Don't be in a hurry to form a habit.
Okay.
21 days I'll finish this, 48 days I'll finish this. If you put a deadline saying that 48 days if I've done it, habit ban gaya, what happens is on the 42nd, 48th day, 49th day, 50th day, you'll stop.
Okay.
Because your goal was only 42 days. So what you have to do is you have to now say that this habit is for life.
Okay.
I don't want to just finish it now. It's for life. It's for the rest of my life.
Okay.
So how do I make it for the rest of my life? I continue doing it. I grow with my habit.
Okay.
So maybe I started reading 1 page and it became easy. Every day I got 1 page in. I will now move it to 2 pages of reading. I'll move it to 3 pages of reading. So you are growing with your habit.
Okay, so there's no end to it, but it's just a starting point and you gradually build it and keep building.
Correct.
Okay.
So in your night routine, right?
Yeah.
You want your night routine to be great.
Yeah.
How do you go about doing that? You go about by slowly adding things.
Right.
Maybe the light dimming happened. Then maybe you said, you know what? I will now put red lights in the room because I know red lights induce
healing,
sleep, etc. Fantastic. Then you'll say, okay, I'm going to now use blue light blocking glasses 1 hour before.
Right.
So you add to your routine, making it stronger.
Wow, that's too many habits. Now tell us, what is the downside of having too many habits?
So the truth is that there is no such thing as too many habits because our entire life is nothing but the habits we've used.
Okay.
At every point of time, you are doing something that's a habit.
Okay.
Right? The way that I'm sipping my water, the way that I'm sitting, all habits.
Right.
It is just, am I conscious about it or not?
Okay.
Imagine if you could have created conscious habits throughout your life.
Yeah.
That means you knew that this is how I'm sitting because I know it's going to create an impact. Or this is how I'm talking because it creates an impact. That is the kind of habit to create.
Okay.
When people start public speaking or they start, doing presentations, they have a lot of subconscious habits. They start doing they use filler words. Those are all the subconscious habits that they created.
Okay.
But when you go to a voice coach and the voice coach says, do you notice you did you did then you consciously start creating a different way of speaking.
Sure. So it's only to make yourself better and better and better.
Ultimately.
By being conscious of what you're doing.
Correct.
Interesting.
Most of us are living subconscious lives. We're sleepwalking through life.
That's true. And I think we all want to make our lives easier.
Correct.
If I have to make myself better, do we have to think like the Britishers to be very proper, sit like this, talk like this, eat a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it depends on what your goal is.
Okay.
Right? If you want to grow up to become an etiquette consultant, then you need to do those things.
Okay.
Correct? But again, what is better? Better is a qualitative term.
Yes.
Right? So you have to design the life that you want. If you want to grow up and be a slob and have pizza sauce on your t-shirt and walk around, but you've made a choice to do that, perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
Do it.
Right.
Don't be an etiquette coach at that point of time, but do it.
Yes.
So you have to choose what it is that you want to be.
Very interesting.
We are not choosing it. We are letting life decide for us.
Yes.
That is the difference.
Yes.
We see something on YouTube and say, acha, okay, fine, let me try this also.
Correct. Yes.
We're making choices subconsciously. Let's make choices consciously.
This is so powerful that whether you want to be as proper as the Britishers were, or you want to be as easy as you have been, it's your choice, but you make the choice. Don't let the situation or the life.
Correct. Or anybody else. Why should your parents, why should your friends make this choice for you? You decide what's going to make you happy, what's going to make you fulfilled.
Right.
What is the big issue with life right now? People don't know what is going to make them feel fulfilled and what is their definition of success.
Okay.
Like, you need to know what success means to you. Right? I can be very successful sitting by myself on a top of a mountain doing my meditation. Is that my success?
Yeah.
I can be very a feeling of success running a big, large company.
Yeah.
What is your feeling of success?
Right. And that, how do one get to know? What is it that, makes them feel fulfilled, or what is success to them? I think a lot of people, including myself, I still wonder what success is. I think I have an idea because I give it a lot of thought and I meditate and all that. But, share some tools.
So unfortunately, success is a difficult one. Because you have to first break through all the programming that other people have put in your head.
Okay.
Paisa equals to success. Family with 2 kids equals to success. Big car equals to success. Right? You have to go past all of that.
Okay.
And say, did I really feel happy when I experienced this? I keep telling people, may you achieve everything that you ever wanted just so that you realize that is not what you wanted. Right? I remember when my first book came out, I was like, now I'm a published author. I was crying in the car and I wrote myself a very emotional letter, etc., etc. In 2 weeks' time, that feeling had gone.
Yeah.
I had a friend, in fact, they celebrated their anniversary of climbing Everest yesterday.
Wow.
And he was telling me, Ashdin, it's so fascinating. We reached the summit of Everest. We had been doing this for many, many years. We'd been practicing, we'd been training. We had 2 failed attempts, all of that. And on the way down, the only thought was, what are we going to do next? So you suddenly realize that you need to choose your goals very carefully. You need to choose your success parameters very carefully. Okay. You got the big car, you got the 2 kids, you got the big company, and then you're still saying, ab kya? What now?
Yeah. So what is the solution to this? Because it's going to happen. Like, either you make another goal and say that, okay, now I'll be successful again, you keep achieving it. Like, what's the way around it?
So I interviewed a Vedanta person.
Okay.
And in Vedanta, they said that the root cause of all stress is desire. Okay. Right? The desire for something. Okay. I want a Mercedes. Fantastic. You got a Mercedes. Now right next to you is a Mercedes S-Class. And you're like, shit, I should have gotten that.
Right.
Now you'll wait till you get that. Then as soon as you get the S-Class, you'll say, oh, I need a Maybach. It's a never-ending stream of desires. Okay. Forget that. You got a car. Right? You saw a car in the showroom. You said, I want this car. You saved up for it. You got the car. You're feeling very proud, feeling happy. You start driving on the road and now you're in potholes. Okay. And now your next desire is, why can't India get smoother roads?
Right.
So one desire got translated into a next desire.
Right.
Then you go to a petrol pump and you say, oh my God, it cost me this much to fill up the petrol. Now it has changed into the cost of fuel. So we are constantly on this treadmill of desire to desire to desire.
Okay.
As soon as you realize you're on this treadmill, right, and you consciously start deleting some of these desires from your life, you realize that stress slowly starts disappearing.
Yeah.
Or you acknowledge that these desires exist within you. And you don't need to fulfill them. You don't need to complete it. I wish the roads were better paved and better made, but it's okay that they're not.
Okay.
I accept things as they are, and again you feel a sense of calm.
Okay, so this is also a habit that you teach yourself.
You have to.
If you don't, then the same circle keeps on repeating and you still want to get fulfill your desires, but that actually is not fulfilling.
No.
What is fulfilling is being content with what you are, where you are, and how you are.
Content. So the problem is that if you live too content, you never grow.
Okay.
So you have to have a desire for growth. Desire by itself is not bad. But the untethered desire,
okay,
that means unrestricted desire, that's where life goes haywire.
Okay.
You need to restrict your desire. Fab, I want to have something good for lunch. Like when you ask me, do I want something? I'll say, yes, I want a green tea.
Okay.
It's not that, no, I'm perfectly fine and happy by myself.
Okay.
Yes, I want a green tea. Fabulous.
Okay.
Now I don't want a green tea plus.
Okay.
That is the key part.
Okay. Okay.
These are very esoteric concepts. And it's difficult to have them in a quick discussion.
Yeah.
But at least start being aware of the desires you have. And I think that is a starting point.
How to get aware of your desires?
Write them down.
Okay.
So actually, that's how we had a habit journal.
Yeah.
Have a desire journal.
Okay.
You go through life and through the day and you keep writing down, Arey, I wish this. Arey, I wish that. Arey, I wish that.
Okay.
And you go through it and you say, what silly wishes.
Yeah.
You know, if Aladdin's lamp actually happened for me, these are the things I would wish for.
Yeah.
No.
So powerful, yeah.
So have only a few things that you would wish for. The rest, they're all rubbish. Why are they occupying your mind?
Okay. And then you make peace with it. That was just me being sick.
Yeah.
Okay, now, for kids, coming back to kids, how do we make our kids listen to us?
Kids will never listen to you.
Okay.
Kids will only see you.
Okay.
So if you do the things that you're telling your kids to do, they will follow it.
Right.
If you don't do the things you're saying, then this hypocrisy is picked up very fast by kids.
Right.
So you have to understand that a kid's mind is like a sponge. It's constantly picking up.
Right.
And every choice is a choice towards what you want your child to be or away from it. Correct? So you have to stop that child immediately and say, look, this is how I would have done it.
Okay.
Let's do it like this.
Okay.
And be a part of that process.
Okay. Now, for example, there's a child. The mother wakes up really early in the morning and the father wakes up really late in the morning. How do we make sure that the child sees the good parent and picks up that habit?
There's no good or bad habit.
Okay.
The father is probably waking up later because he slept later because he was working.
Right. Could be.
Correct?
Yeah.
So there is no good or bad.
Okay.
But what is the habit that you want the child to go with? What you have to realize is that as a husband-wife, you all are a team. It's a team sport raising up a child.
Right.
So the conversations that you have with each other are about this teamwork.
Okay.
Don't tell your husband to say, Arey, beta, come and sleep with me a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right? If I wake up the child, say, okay, go with your mama. Don't do what I'm doing. Go with your mama.
Okay.
So in that way, together you're working towards this.
Okay.
And the sleeping one is simple, but you have things about the father will keep giving chocolates while the mother is shouting at don't give chocolates.
Yeah.
That's again teamwork disrupting.
Right.
So you all have to be on the same page with these habits that you want to create.
Okay. At what age can we start teaching our kids habits?
So I would say from the time they're this much.
Okay.
Because they're still seeing and observing. But realistically, when you notice them copying you,
okay,
even little children will go around sweeping the floor or, picking up the phone and doing this because they saw the parents doing that. All of this is when you actually start becoming aware and conscious about it. This is why when you're in front of your children, you mind the words that you speak.
Right.
The things that you say, the things that you avoid, all of it is getting soaked up by the child. The tone of speaking. Are you positive when you're speaking or are you negative? Right? There are 3 C's of negativity. There's complaining, so constantly complaining about things. There's comparing. Right. Look, that one is doing like this. We are not doing this. Correct. So complaining, comparing. And last one is criticizing. Arey, look at how they've kept their house. All those little things are being picked up by the child and they will repeat it and become like this.
Correct.
So how do we consciously change the words that we look for?
Right. So that we don't, as parents, we don't pass our habits to our kids.
Correct. And it's a beautiful thing that says that many people say that, when I held my child for the first time, it made me feel like becoming a better person. It shouldn't end at that, right? That feeling of being a better person for your child should be there throughout the child growing up, not just when it was a blanket on day one.
True, but I think the next leg requires a lot of work.
And patience.
Yeah, true.
See, your children have come to teach you as much as as much as you are trying to teach them.
Absolutely.
They are teaching you patience.
Right.
They're teaching you,
Good habits so that
joy.
Yeah.
Imagine they play with a tapeli and they feel so much joy.
Right.
Right? We can't play with our car and feel this much joy.
Right.
So you realize how small things also can give you that much joy.
Right. I wish the joy that kids these days have, playing with the tapeli or playing outdoors, doing nothing. But a lot of it has moved to using screens. How do we make sure that the screen use doesn't become a habit?
Now, who's using screens in the house?
All of us.
Parents.
Yeah.
So they're looking at the parents and they're saying, this is what I need to be doing.
Correct.
Don't use screens in front of your in front of your kids.
Okay.
Second thing is, don't use the word, I'm so bored.
Okay, right.
Boredom is a very adult thing. Children are not bored.
Right.
Children have endless creativity. But as soon as they hear their parents saying, I am bored, let us do something, I am bored, that is what they pick up and believe that being bored is a thing that they need to do.
Okay.
So children are not bored. I remember I would be sent out to the balcony and I would sit with the plants and look at the plants and look at the sun and look at this. There was always something happening in my mind.
Right.
Correct? So that is what you have to deal with. And don't outsource your parenting to the screen. What we do is we outsource parenting to the screen.
Okay.
My baby won't sit with me and eat food, so I make him watch Peppa Pig. That is outsourcing it to the screen. Baby won't sit in with you and eat food. You become more interesting. You will learn the joy of small stories.
Okay.
Everything doesn't have to be a spreadsheet that you are trying to look at.
Right.
So those little things make a big difference.
Okay. And for us, because even we have screen time addiction, it's dumb scrolling. How do we stop that? How do we create a habit? Because I think a lot of people have also tried the notification where you can say that, okay, stop me at 15 minutes or whatever. Doesn't work. So how can one develop that? And I think the entire country is facing this addiction.
Every time I give a talk,
this
one question comes up every single time.
Okay.
So I know it is a huge one.
Yes.
I give many, many talks a week, right?
Yes.
The first thing I tell people is it is not your fault.
Okay.
Companies are spending billions of dollars trying to keep you addicted.
Right.
So it's not your fault. Whereas our little brain have capacity versus billions of dollars being spent in trying to make us addicts. The second thing I tell them is that, of course, switch off notifications. Third, create rules around your house. Turn that mobile phone into a landline phone. That means keep it plugged in somewhere in the house where you have to only use it in that place.
Okay.
So choose 2 places in the house where the phone can be used.
Okay.
The phone is not allowed into the bedroom. The phone is not allowed on the dining table. And the phone is not allowed in the place we use it the most, which is the toilet.
Okay.
Right? Don't take it into these 3 places and you'll automatically realize how much it drops.
Yes.
Maybe you have one sofa in your house where you can sit and use your phone.
Okay.
That's how you start using.
Yeah.
It's not like you take your TV with you to the toilet, right?
Right.
Your TV stays in the living room.
Right.
So that's how you use your screen.
Okay. Interesting. I think if you can build it around it, probably it might help reduce the screen time.
When I started working, we had desktop computers.
Yeah.
Correct? So you had to go to office to work.
Yeah.
Now, suddenly when a laptop came, it was, wow, we have a laptop. Look at it, so cool. We didn't realize that now work comes home with us. Right? Then work comes into the car with us. The work comes here into the aircraft with us.
True.
So what you have to realize is that if you find a place for it and keep it there, then the chances of you using it everywhere.
Yeah, like how you sleep in the bedroom, not in the drawing room or not on the dining table.
Otherwise you sleep everywhere.
Yeah, correct. But also I think we've come to a point where we are so addicted to the screen. So even though TV is in front of us, we're still on the screen and we are watching 2 things. At least I do it sometimes. And I realize like, oh my God, what am I doing?
We used to call it the third screen. So we have a market research company, right? And in market research, when mobile phones were coming up, we realized that people were viewing TV differently. So there was the TV that was going on. Then there was the laptop next to them, which had work on them. And then they had the third screen, which was their phone. So you have 3 screens in front of you and you're still bored. Can you imagine?
I can't.
So clearly something is broken in this equation that we need to start fixing.
Okay. Now coming to the big question of the 21 days. Tell me how much of it is true?
I have never seen anybody form a habit in 21 days.
Okay.
I have never formed a habit in 21 days.
Okay.
The biggest thing with the 21 days is that it is a fabulous marketing tactic.
Really?
It was picked up from a book called Psycho-Cybernetics, which spoke about 21 days it takes for a body to realize that a hand or a leg has been amputated.
Okay.
So there's something called phantom leg that exists. That means that the body keeps thinking that this arm is still there for days after it's been amputated. It takes 21 days for the body to overcome this. That has turned into habits. They're not related.
Really? Even in quantum physics, I think there's some strong evidence of 21 days and then...
It's a nice number. 21 days is a great number. It rolls off the tongue well. People remember 21. If it was 32 days, 14 days, 21 is a nice number. Also, it's my birthday, so it's also a good number. But the point is that it doesn't take 21 days. And even if it did, I tell people, why are you so hell-bent on forming a habit? This habit is for the rest of your life.
Yeah, don't stop at 21.
Why would you want to stop at 21? Why would you only cut yourself short? Think about whatever you create for the rest of your life, not just the immediate future, which is 21 days. We've become this whole generation of, Amazon Prime, instant delivery. We want it now. Because the next part of 21 days is, why can't I do it in 10? And then that is the dangerous slope that you get on. So instead, start thinking about habits for the rest of your life. Don't cut yourself short.
Interesting. Okay, now coming to the bad habits. How can one delete a bad habit from their life?
So what I tell people is you cannot remove a habit. Many people say break a habit. You don't break. You replace a habit. So you replace it with something else. So maybe that smoking gets replaced with a chai. Maybe it gets replaced by going for a walk. You find out what you replace it with. And that is how you start making this change.
Now, according to you, what is one habit that we need to have in the modern world?
In the modern world?
Yeah.
I think the habit of connection. We are too easy to say, hi, how are you on WhatsApp? And actually lack genuine connection with people. So all our conversations are very surface. As human beings, we were designed for very in-depth conversations, heart-to-heart conversations, love. Those are things that are missing in this fast-paced world. So I think learning to have slow conversations. We keep joking about how everyone has ADHD now. Correct? Everyone needs a reel and instantly. But how do you go back to slow conversations? And that itself is an art, I think, for our modern world.
I agree. I was in Japan, and when I went there, we were at the dinner table, and the dinner went on for 3 hours on the clock. I'm not even joking. And I was done in 15 minutes, and I was like, when will we get up? When are they done? But they would just sit and sip on their drink or eat their food. For 3 hours, they would not get up. After some time, I was like, this is beautiful. It's so relaxing and it's so engaging, So I think to make sure that you have that time with your close people is also very important.
It's like we go out for a fancy dinner. Right? And we gobble our food.
What's the point?
Correct. You go back. If I asked you, what did you eat yesterday? You won't be able to tell me what you ate yesterday because it was so fast. So in other cultures, the food is the excuse for meeting and having conversation. We make the food the celebration. So the idea is to switch it on its head. Not to make the entire evening about the food, but to make the evening about the conversation. The food is just the added extra.
Just extra. Okay. And tell me, how do people work with a habit coach?
So when people come to me, very often they come because they want to break a particular habit. Right? And if it is something they don't want, I say, I'm not going to work with you. But then what we do is we sit down and I give them an exercise to do, which is called the magic wand exercise. Imagine I give you a magic wand. Take this magic wand and you move it around and you create this perfect life for yourself. 5 years from now. I want to know what that perfect life would look like 5 years from now. And through that exercise, I get the person's intentions. So ask for details. So don't say, I want a house on the beach. Because a house on a beach can be a small tent or can be under a bridge or can be a 10-bedroom mansion. Right? All of them are on the beach. So be very specific on what you want.
Right.
This teaches me where the intentions are. Then through our conversation, I realize where the gap is between this intention and where they are right now.
Okay.
And then we identify 3 things that we start working on.
Okay.
We don't do more than 3 things because then nothing gets done.
Okay.
And then we start working on those 3 things.
Oh, interesting. Very good. This was such a interesting topic to talk about. I've always learned and heard habits make the man. And it's important. We all know that, but there are certain tools, if we had it or we had an understanding of, as humans, we would be, better equipped to change or improve our life. And I think habit is the most important thing, that you can make or break your life.
Absolutely.
With your own habits. So thank you so much, and sharing with us so openly, about the things that we can do by just changing our habits.
My pleasure. And I want to leave everyone with a thought that the life that you have right now is a function of all the habits that have existed up till this point.
Right.
Whatever it is that you want to create ahead is dependent on the habits you move from now onwards. So choose your habits carefully.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
So hi guys, we have one question from our Instagram family. She says, how do I start reading or build a reading habit? It's very easy for me to get distracted. So Ashdin, could you help us with that?
Fabulous. So the way to start thinking about your reading habit is to not think about it as, I'm going to finish reading this whole book. Instead, say, I'm going to read just 1 page a day. Okay, if 1 page is difficult, I'm just going to read half a page a day. And what you start doing is you suddenly realize that maybe after 10 days, reading 1 page is very easy. So you start making it 2 pages, 3 pages, 4 pages. And then soon you will realize that you no longer find it a struggle to open the book to read it. It's automatically happening, and that's when it becomes your habit. So start small. Start with what is a manageable dose. Don't set a timer saying I will read for 50 minutes or I will read for 30 minutes. Instead, make it quantitative, just 1 page.
Wow, amazing. I hope that was helpful to you, Yashasvi Modi, and thank you so much for your question. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.